Kabul is the capital of Afghanistan, its largest city and a center of culture and learning. But before ISAF's military operations, Kabul was also used by terrorist groups as a base for planning their attacks. This was also where the reconnaissance video of the Yishun MRT station was found. To ensure the safety and security of its deployed troops, it was necessary for SAF commanders to be plugged into ISAF's command and control in theater. 6 national contingent commanders were deployed at ISAF HQ in Kabul, taking on the responsibilities of coordinating the SAF's deployments across Afghanistan and building relationships with ISAF counterparts.
The National Command Element was deployed from November 2009 in anticipation of the SAF's increased footprint in Afghanistan. Our role as a National Command Element was to provide the support to our servicemen of detachment who are doing the missions on the ground, and also to ensure the safety and well-being of our servicemen in theatre.
The SAF also expanded its contributions by providing training assistance to the ANSF. A team of SAF military institutional trainers joined an Australian-led team at the Kabul Military Training Centre to help the ANSF in artillery doctrine development and to train Afghan soldiers on the proper use of their artillery guns. A total of 28 live firings was successfully completed.
Okay, the Afghans have this common saying, Shona ba Shona, which means shoulder to shoulder. Once you see the entire live firing is over, they achieve the goal, they feel very proud that the coalition force have teach them something and they are able to defend themselves through this entire lesson we have taught them. And this is when Shona ba Shona is very prominent.
This mantra of shoulder to shoulder was embodied throughout the SAF's 6-year deployment in Afghanistan. The SAF stood shoulder to shoulder with its ISAF counterparts, assisting its partners where appropriate. In recognition of the SAF servicemen's efforts, some were awarded medals by their international counterparts.
I am deeply honored and humbled by the recognition they gave me. I guess it's a testimony and it speaks volumes of the quality of officers that have played a part in the overall mission in Afghanistan.
The SAF earned the respect of its international counterparts for its contributions in Afghanistan.
A few months here we were getting a pretty high rate of indirect fire, and it gave us early warning that fire was coming in. It gave me time to take cover before the round exploded, only about 40 metres away. So I owe a lot to the Arthur detachment. I've got to say, very professional. I have a very high regard for the Singaporean Armed Forces, for their leadership and for the way the soldiers conduct themselves professionally around this base and in the way they do their job.
They are on time, on target every day. The most important thing that they provide, the world-class intelligence and the information to the soldiers on the ground. It is an honor to serve with the Singapore soldiers who are absolutely professional.
The Singapore Army has been a valuable contributor to the ability of the Afghans to take the lead. From training their artillery forces to supporting us with intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability, to assisting us in our strategic communications, to the medical and dental support, all those contributions is also something that the people of Singapore should be proud of.
Words of appreciation also came from the Afghan military and civilians who directly benefited from the efforts of the SAF.
I fully appreciate the support of the Singaporean military here, and they had a big contribution for Bamiyan people.
دیگه همکارایش بسیار متشکریم که از ما سالی به تمام اینجا بوده کار کردن نظارت کردن بسیار خوشحال هستیم.
However, all this would have not been possible without the support the servicemen received from their families back home.
The support of the families of our deployed servicemen is very important to the success of the mission. They not only provide physical support in terms of sending parcels and encouragements, but the moral support in terms of giving them the peace of mind to be able to contribute effectively in theatre is also very important. So from that regard, we spare no effort to thank the family and to engage them, to allow them to know what is happening in theatre, so that they are able to provide the constant support that our servicemen need in theatre.
Quite proud that my husband is representing the country in this way. It has always been his dream to actually serve the nation in this manner. Of course, as a wife, I feel very worried that he is deployed to a country like Afghanistan. But at the same time, right, SAF has actually helped to allay my fears and concerns, because they have family briefings to actually tell us how the situation like there.
With the Afghan National Security Forces close to assuming full responsibility for the country's security, the SAF concluded its deployments in Afghanistan. To mark this occasion, a ceremony was held at multinational base Taran Court, officiated by Chief of Army Major General Ravinder Singh.
Today marks a significant milestone for the Singapore Armed Forces as we complete our 6-year-long operation in Afghanistan. Our operational journey in Afghanistan has been a successful and fulfilling one. We have gained much operational and professional experience by working alongside our coalition partners. On behalf of the Singapore Armed Forces, I thank you all once again for the valuable support that you have given us. It has been a great honor and privilege to serve alongside with you, and you have our deepest respect and gratitude.
By June this year, the SAF will conclude our deployments in Afghanistan. By then, the SAF would have completed 6 years of operations in Afghanistan as part of an international coalition. 6 long years, 6 meaningful years, 6 dangerous years. Singapore can be satisfied that the SAF has done its job well in preventing the export of terrorism from Afghanistan and preparing the Afghans for self-governance. These were our 2 missions, and I think we've done it very well.
The SAF's will to assist the international community in the global fight on terrorism was demonstrated through its efforts in Afghanistan. Operation Blue Ridge will be remembered as a time when the SAF stood side by side with its international counterparts to effect a change in the lives of the Afghan people. Side by side, shoulder to shoulder, Shona ba Shona.